All right, that is some important opinion that we are looking at. But let's now talk about all of the cues that you should track as we get into a fresh trading session. We have our research team here with the trade setup. So Vivek, Surbhi and Nigel are going to take us through the entire trade setup this morning and all of the individual names that you should track as well. In fact, this morning, let's start off with the individual stocks that are likely to be in focus on the back of some news flow that came through. So Surbhi is here with that entire list. Surbhi?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for that. So, few names that I'm tracking today. Auto companies will be in focus on the back of their monthly sales numbers. For Hero Motor, the sales were up 10%, but the export sales were down 55%. Eicher Motors, their total motorcycle sales were up 21%, and exports saw a marginal growth of 1% at 7,100 units. Adani Group stocks will also be in focus as the group denies reports of securing a $3 billion sovereign wealth fund financing. Just to alert, exchanges had asked for clarification from the company on reports of securing new credit. RVNL, the company emerges as the lowest bidder for railway projects of 200 train sets. The cost of each train set is 120 crores. Suntech Realty, the company signs a lease deal with Upgrad for its premium commercial project. This project has a revenue potential of 2,000 crores over a lease tenure of 29 years. And lastly, KNR Construction, the company bags an order worth 665 crores in Andhra Pradesh.
All right, Surbhi, thanks a lot. We are going to watch for all of these stocks in today's trading session. Let's also talk about the market cues that are important today. Vivek is here with exactly that. Vivek, the SGX is suggesting that we'll get a bit of a weak start this morning, but take us through everything we should watch.
Well, absolutely right. It was expected to be a much better start as far as the global handover was concerned, coming into March. However, what's actually transpired overnight as far as global markets are concerned is quite subdued. US markets largely ended lower, S&P 500 and Nasdaq, both ending with cuts. Now, also very importantly, the 10-year US yield has reached 4% for the first time since November. Another very important trigger as far as markets are concerned. When you're talking about European markets, again, a very lackluster weak handover coming in there as well. The CAC almost dropping 0.5% and DAX to dropping 0.4%. Now, coming to crude oil prices continue to trend slightly higher. Brent futures went up almost 1%, and when you're talking about WTI futures, up almost 0.8% in overnight trading session. Now, coming to Indian markets, after an 8-day losing streak, you actually saw Indian markets bounce back quite smartly in yesterday's trading session. So now what actually happens is that Monday's low of close to 17,255 will become the important support level, and that is what technical analysts are watching very closely. And for the second straight session, the broader end of the markets outperformed. Given the weak global handover and our own strong handover from yesterday, it will be interesting to see whether the bulls or the bears take the day today.
All right, it will be interesting to see how that shapes up. Vivek, thanks a lot for that. Finally, let's also talk about all of the cues from the futures and options space. Nigel, like Vivek was pointing out, we saw quite a smart bounce yesterday. How's it looking this morning?
Well, there was an Asian market party and we participated yesterday. The question is, will we see a hangover or will we see an after party? That's going to be important. Now, in yesterday's trading session, you had the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank. The open interest was low and both those indices went up. So there was some short covering that played out. We made this point yesterday that the PCR, when it goes to around 0.67, 0.7 odd, then in fact you get the buy indicator. Now, because of the put writing we have seen, it's moving back towards that 1 mark odd. What did the FIs do? Well, they added some long positions. They added close to 7,000 long positions, though they continue to remain net short. Close to 82% of their positioning is on the short side. On the index option side, well, they bought puts. The good news, though, is that they wrote puts as well. And put writing in an uptrending market is something that the bulls would like. What were the puts they were writing? Well, the 17,400, 17,350 put, between them, there was more than 1 crore shares that were added in yesterday's trading session. So there was writing that we saw at those levels. And since today's expiry, weekly expiry that will play out, the two strikes which are very, very important, which have the highest open interest, 17,500 call and 17,400 put, which brings us to the level. For the Nifty, well, you'll want it to defend the 200 DMA and move higher. And for the Nifty Bank, you'll want it to move towards the 20 DMA. For starters, though, the SGX Nifty is indicating a more or less, flattish to a mildly negative start, 50-point downtick. So we'll start closer to around the 200 DMA on the Nifty. Let's see whether or not we can defend it by the end of today. Back to you.
All right, we are going to wait by and see if we can defend it. And like Nigel said, let's see whether there's an after party or there's a hangover. Nigel, thanks a lot for that. But with that, it's time for our first short break on the show. When we come back, Dish TV's minority shareholders allege breach of corporate governance practices. We'll bring you the latest on the other side.